Ladies and gentlemen, today I want to begin with a story that for a long time I was too afraid to tell. It's about the moment I almost gave up on myself. Have you ever felt like that? Like the weight of your challenges was too much to bear? That no matter what you did, you would never measure up? I remember sitting in my room one night, staring at the ceiling and thinking, this is it. This is all I'll ever be. I'm not enough. I wondered if anyone else felt this way or if I was the only one pretending to have it all together while silently falling apart. But here's the reason you need to listen to this speech till the very end, because what I'm about to share isn't just my story. It's your story too. It's the story of every person who has ever been pushed to their limit and wondered if they could go on. It's about falling down and then getting back up stronger than ever. And today, I promise you this, you will walk out of this room not only believing in yourself again, but with the courage to take on whatever challenges life throws your way. Let me take you back to that night. I felt broken, but instead of staying in that dark place, I made a decision that changed everything. I realized that life isn't about waiting for the storm to pass. It's about learning to dance in the rain. You see, the challenges we face don't define us. They refine us. That's the difference. Every no we hear, every failure we endure is not the end. It's just the beginning of a better version of ourselves. And as I stand here today, I want you to ask yourself, what's holding me back? Is it fear, doubt, the opinions of others? Whatever it is, it doesn't have to define you. You are more than the limitations people put on you. You are more than the voice in your head that says you can't. Each one of you has a gift, a purpose, a reason for being here, and the world needs what only you can give. But first, you have to believe it. So I'm here to tell you this, it's okay to fall. It's okay to fail. What's not okay is giving up on yourself, because you matter. Your story matters. As I look at each of you now, I see so much potential, so much courage, even if you don't see it yet. And my message is simple: when life knocks you down, don't stay there, rise for yourself. Rise for yourself. Rise for the people who need your strength. And when you leave here today, I want you to carry this with you. You are not defined by your setbacks. You are defined by your comebacks. The best way to start any speech, especially one meant to inspire and move others, is to capture the audience's attention with a deeply personal and emotionally engaging story. In this case, the focus is on sharing a challenge that resonates universally, something that goes beyond surface-level struggles and dives into the raw, vulnerable moments of life. This approach is not just about recounting an event, it's about inviting the audience to feel what you felt and walk in your shoes, even if just for a moment. This immediate connection creates a foundation of trust and relatability, making the message more powerful and unforgettable. Imagine the moment standing on stage, looking out at a sea of faces and saying something that stops them in their tracks. You begin by describing a time when you felt utterly defeated, a moment that everyone in the room can relate to in some way. For instance, you might talk about a period in your life when you faced overwhelming doubt, rejection, or loss. The audience might not have faced the exact same circumstances, but they will understand the feelings of fear, inadequacy, and hopelessness because these emotions are universal. By starting with this level of honesty, you signal that this speech isn't about being perfect or superior, it's about being human. For this keynote, the story must highlight a specific challenge. Perhaps it was a time when you failed spectacularly at something that mattered deeply to you. You could describe a dream that fell apart, a moment when you felt invisible, or a situation where you doubted your worth. Paint the picture vividly using sensory details that allow the audience to see, hear, and feel the environment of that moment. Maybe you were sitting in a dimly lit room, staring blankly at a wall as a storm raged outside. Or perhaps you were surrounded by people but felt completely alone, their laughter and conversations blending into an indistinct hum while your mind replayed the scenes of your perceived failures. This level of vulnerability is what draws the audience in. They begin to lean forward in their seats, not just because they're curious about what happens next, but because they see pieces of themselves in your story. This connection is the secret to engaging an audience right from the start. But the story doesn't stop at describing the challenge, it also hints at the transformation to come. While you don't reveal the full resolution just yet, because the journey needs to unfold throughout the speech, you provide a glimpse of hope. You might say something like, in that moment I didn't know it yet, but everything was about to change. This creates anticipation, leaving the audience eager to know how you turn things around. Ending the introduction with a promise is crucial. You assure the audience that by staying with you until the end, they will walk away with something valuable and insight, a lesson or a new perspective. This promise isn't about you, it's about them. It's about making them feel seen, understood, and empowered. By weaving a challenge into the introduction, you not only grab attention, but also set the stage for a transformative experience that leaves a lasting impact. Resilience is one of the most powerful forces within the human spirit. It is the ability to endure pain, setbacks, and disappointment while still finding a way to move forward. In life, challenges are inevitable, but what makes some people rise while others falter is their mindset, the decision to keep going despite the odds. When we talk about resilience, it's not just about surviving, it's about thriving in the face of adversity and transforming struggles into stepping stones for growth. Imagine being in a moment when everything seems to be falling apart, when the obstacles feel too high to climb and giving up feels like the easiest option. Resilience is the voice inside that whispers, try again. It's not a loud, bold declaration. Often it's a quiet nudge to take just one more step. The beauty of resilience lies in its subtlety. It doesn't demand perfection, it simply asks us to keep moving.
The path to resilience begins with a shift in perspective. Instead of seeing challenges as insurmountable barriers, resilient people view them as opportunities for growth. This doesn't mean they don't feel pain, frustration, or fear.
It means they choose to find meaning within those emotions. For example, when faced with failure, a resilient mindset doesn't dwell on what went wrong, but instead focuses on what can be learned and how to do better next time. This ability to reframe difficulties as lessons rather than defeats is a hallmark of resilience. Another critical aspect of resilience is adaptability. Life rarely goes according to plan, and those who thrive are often the ones who can adjust their sails when the winds change direction. They understand that rigidly clinging to what should have been only prolonged suffering. Resilience involves letting go of the idealized version of how life is supposed to unfold and embracing the reality of what is. This adaptability doesn't come easily. It requires practice and a conscious effort to remain open to new possibilities, even when they seem far removed from the original goal. At its core, resilience is also deeply tied to hope. It's the belief that no matter how dark the present moment may be, brighter days lie ahead. Hope fuels resilience by giving us something to hold on to, a reason to persevere. Even in the direst circumstances, hope acts as a guiding light, reminding us that struggles are temporary and that growth is possible on the other side of hardship. Lastly, resilience is not something we're born with, it's something we build. Every small act of courage, every time we face a challenge and push through, we strengthen our ability to be resilient. It's like a muscle that grows with use. And just like muscles, resilience can be nurtured through intentional practices, whether it's cultivating gratitude, seeking support from others, or finding ways to regulate emotions during stressful times. Ultimately, the power of resilience lies in its transformative ability. It turns setbacks into setups for success, pain into purpose, and doubt into determination. Resilience reminds us that no matter how many times life knocks us down, we can always get back up, and each time we do, we become stronger than before. Vulnerability is often seen as a weakness, but in reality, it is one of the most powerful tools for connection. When we allow ourselves to be vulnerable, when we share our fears, doubts, and struggles with others, we invite them into our human experience, and we create an environment where empathy can flourish. Vulnerability fosters genuine connections because it shows others that they are not alone in their challenges, and it gives them permission to be authentic as well. It's through these raw, honest moments that we truly see each other not as perfect beings, but as people who are doing the best we can with what we've got. Sharing vulnerability in a public space, especially in a speech, has the power to break down walls between the speaker and the audience. It tells them, I'm just like you. It humanizes the speaker and makes their message more relatable. When we are open about our insecurities and fears, it signals that we are not trying to portray ourselves as flawless or unbreakable. We are simply showing up as who we truly are, flaws and all. This kind of openness is magnetic. It draws people in because at the heart of it, we all crave authenticity. We yearn for realness in a world that is often filtered and curated to perfection. One of the most profound aspects of vulnerability is its ability to heal, not just the person sharing, but the people listening as well. When we hear someone speak openly about their struggles and fears, it allows us to reflect on our own. It validates the emotions we've been hiding or suppressing. It's as though for a brief moment, we no longer have to carry the weight of our burdens alone. The act of witnessing someone's vulnerability often helps us release the shame or guilt we may feel about our own imperfections. We realize we are not the only ones carrying that heavy load. We are all in this together. The power of vulnerability also lies in the strength it takes to embrace it. It's not easy to expose the parts of ourselves that we fear others might reject or criticize, but the very act of doing so is a form of courage. When we are vulnerable, we are showing the world that we trust them with our most authentic selves. We are giving them access to parts of our lives that are raw, unpolished, and real. This kind of courage is magnetic. It inspires others to step out of their own shells and share their own truths, creating a ripple effect of openness and connection. Moreover, being vulnerable is not about seeking sympathy or validation. It's not about laying bare our problems in the hope that others will solve them. Instead, it's about creating a space where everyone feels seen and heard. It's about acknowledging that we all have struggles and it's okay to not have it all together all the time. This acknowledgement of imperfection frees others to do the same. By showing vulnerability, we give others permission to be themselves, to embrace their flaws, their insecurities, and their unique stories. Finally, vulnerability fosters growth. It is through facing our fears, speaking about our struggles, and accepting our imperfections that we unlock our potential. Vulnerability doesn't mean weakness, it means bravery. It's about taking a step into the unknown with courage, even when we're unsure of the outcome. And by doing so, we open ourselves up to learning, to healing, and to becoming better versions of ourselves. The more we embrace vulnerability, the more we unlock our ability to truly connect with others and live our lives fully without fear of judgment or rejection. Celebrating individual potential is a transformative and empowering act. It's about recognizing the unique abilities, experiences, and perspectives that each person brings to the table. Everyone has something special to offer, whether it's a talent, an idea, or a story, and when we take the time to acknowledge and embrace these qualities, we unlock the power to create change, both within ourselves and in the world around us. We often get caught up in comparing ourselves to others, thinking we need to measure up to some external standard of success. But the truth is, the greatest achievements and contributions often come from embracing what makes us different. Each individual has a different path to follow, and each person carries a set of skills and experiences that can be used to shape the future. Whether it's a passion for art, science, helping others, or innovation, our potential doesn't have to look like anyone else's. The beauty lies in the diversity of what we bring to the world. Celebrating individual potential also means acknowledging that everyone's journey is unique. Too often we fall into the trap of thinking that success comes in one form, whether it's a certain job, title, or status, and we forget that success can look vastly different for each person. For some, success may be about personal growth. For others, it's about making a difference in their community or finding joy in simple moments. By celebrating this diversity and potential, we free ourselves from the pressure of living up to societal expectations. We create a world where people can thrive in their own way based on their values, passions, and aspirations. It's essential to recognize that potential is not just about what we can achieve in the future, it's about understanding our worth in the present. Often we're so focused on what's next that we forget to appreciate the progress we've already made. Celebrating individual potential means acknowledging the growth we've already experienced, the hurdles we've overcome, and the lessons we've learned along the way. Every step, no matter how small, is part of a greater journey, and it's important to honor that. This self-recognition builds confidence and fosters an environment where we are more likely to take risks, challenge ourselves, and continue growing. Celebrating individual potential also involves recognizing that growth doesn't happen in isolation. It thrives in environments where support, encouragement, and understanding are present. A person's potential can often be unlocked by the people around them, whether it's through mentorship, friendship, or a community that believes in them. When we celebrate and nurture the potential of those around us, we create a culture of mutual support, where everyone feels empowered to pursue their dreams. This interconnectedness is what makes growth not just a personal journey, but a collective one. We rise by lifting others. Moreover, embracing individual potential is about removing the barriers that prevent people from realizing their full capabilities. It's about creating opportunities, offering resources, and making space for people to explore their interests and passions. This may require changing the way we think about success, shifting away from rigid definitions and towards a more inclusive, fluid understanding of what it means to live a fulfilling and impactful life. When we create a world that celebrates the unique potential in each person, we inspire a culture of limitless possibilities. Empowerment is one of the most transformative forces in the world. It's the belief that we have the ability to shape our own destinies and that we are capable of achieving far more than we often give ourselves credit for. To empower others is to remind them that they possess everything they need to succeed, and that no external circumstance can define their worth or limit their potential. Empowerment doesn't just come from external validation, it comes from within. It's the internal shift in mindset that allows us to see ourselves as capable, resourceful, and strong. When we truly embrace this power, we begin to recognize the opportunities around us, trust our abilities, and take deliberate steps towards creating the life we desire. One of the keys to empowerment is the understanding that we are not powerless in the face of adversity. Life will undoubtedly present challenges, some expected, others completely unforeseen, but true empowerment comes from recognizing that we have the ability to navigate these challenges. Even in moments of uncertainty, we can make choices that move us forward. Empowerment means taking ownership of our decisions, whether they are about our careers, relationships, or personal growth. It's about shifting the focus from what we cannot control to what we can, because in every situation there is always something we can control, whether it's our attitude, our actions, or our response to the circumstances. Another crucial element of empowerment is the ability to embrace failure as part of the journey. We often associate failure with weakness or incompetence, but it's actually one of the greatest tools for growth. Failure is not the end of the road, it's a stepping stone to success. When we empower others, we help them reframe their failures not as indicators of inability, but as opportunities for learning and improvement. The truth is that every successful person has failed countless times. What sets them apart is not that they never faced setbacks, but that they learned from each failure and kept going. Empowerment comes when we realize that failure is not something to be feared, but something to be embraced and used as fuel for future success. Empowerment also involves recognizing and challenging the limiting beliefs that often hold us back. These beliefs, whether they come from past experiences, societal expectations, or negative self-talk, can be some of the biggest barriers to realizing our full potential. But the moment we recognize these beliefs for what they are, we can start to challenge them. Empowerment is about letting go of the belief that we are bound by our past or by the opinions of others. It's about telling ourselves that we can rewrite our stories, that we are not defined by our mistakes or shortcomings, and that we have the ability to break free from the mental and emotional chains that have held us back. To empower someone is also to offer them the tools, knowledge, and support they need to take action. Empowerment is not about doing everything for someone else or solving all their problems. It's about equipping them with the confidence and skills to make their own choices and take charge of their future. It's about instilling the belief that they have what it takes to succeed, and that they can find their own path to fulfillment. This sense of agency is essential to empowerment. When people feel that they have control over their lives and their decisions, they are more likely to take risks, chase their dreams, and make bold choices that lead to personal growth. Ultimately, empowerment is a call to action. It's about stepping into the fullest version of ourselves, overcoming the limitations we've imposed on our potential, and showing others how to do the same. It's a mindset shift that says, I am capable, I am worthy, and I will take action to shape my life. When we empower others, we help them see the world as a place of opportunity, not limitation. And when we empower ourselves, we unlock the door to a future filled with possibility, resilience, and success. Perspective is one of the most transformative forces we have in shaping our lives. It's the lens through which we see the world and ourselves, and it has the incredible power to either limit us or open up a world of possibilities. Often, it's not the circumstances themselves that define our outcomes, but how we choose to perceive them. A person's perspective can determine whether they view a setback as a failure or as an opportunity for growth. It can turn a difficult challenge into a stepping stone or leave them feeling stuck in a place of helplessness. The key lies in our ability to intentionally choose the perspective that empowers us rather than the one that holds us back. One of the most powerful shifts in perspective is realizing that we are not victims of our circumstances. Life is unpredictable, and sometimes things will not go as planned, but that doesn't mean we are helpless. Shifting our perspective to one of agency means understanding that while we cannot control everything, we can control how we respond. Every moment presents us with a choice to react from a place of fear or to respond with strength and determination. The more we choose a positive, empowering perspective, the more resilient and capable we become. We realize that challenges, no matter how difficult, are not insurmountable walls, but opportunities to develop new skills, learn more about ourselves, and grow stronger. Perspective is also about seeing the potential in situations and people rather than focusing solely on the obstacles. We've all been in situations where it feels like the odds are stacked against us, where everything seems to be going wrong. But it's in these moments that perspective matters most. Instead of dwelling on the negative, shifting our mindset to one of possibility allows us to see solutions, creative approaches, and new paths that we might have missed before. We begin to notice opportunities in unexpected places, whether it's a chance to learn, adapt, or change direction. A shift in perspective opens up a space for creativity and innovation, allowing us to tackle problems with fresh eyes and new energy. Another key aspect of perspective is gratitude. When we choose to see the good, even in difficult circumstances, we train our minds to focus on abundance rather than lack. Gratitude doesn't negate the reality of challenges, but it allows us to maintain a sense of appreciation for the things we do have, even when things aren't perfect. This simple shift in focus can drastically change how we experience life. Instead of feeling defeated by what we lack, we feel empowered by what we've already accomplished, the support we have, and the strength we carry within us. Gratitude grounds us, helping us stay positive and hopeful even in the face of adversity. Perspective also plays a crucial role in how we view ourselves. Often we can be our harshest critics, focusing on our shortcomings and mistakes. But by shifting our perspective to one of self-compassion, we begin to see ourselves as worthy of success, growth, and love. This change allows us to stop defining ourselves by our failures or perceived flaws, and instead we recognize that we are constantly evolving, learning, and improving. This shift frees us from the constant pressure of perfection and allows us to accept ourselves as we are, while still striving for growth. Finally, perspective is about how we see others. Too often we judge people based on surface-level perceptions, stereotypes, or past experiences. But by choosing to see others with an open heart and mind, we can uncover their strengths, struggles, and potential. This shift fosters deeper connections and empathy, allowing us to build relationships rooted in understanding rather than judgment. It also empowers us to support others in their journeys, recognizing that we all have our challenges, but we also have the ability to rise above them. Ultimately, perspective is the key to unlocking the full potential of our lives. It's the difference between seeing obstacles as roadblocks or as opportunities to grow. It's the choice to look at ourselves and others with compassion and understanding. And it's the power to shift our mindset in any given moment, allowing us to transform even the most difficult circumstances into experiences of learning, growth, and empowerment.